Hello, hello, and welcome to the Mass Media Tribe Meetup for March 4, 2022. Can you believe it's already March? My goodness. It is, oh, we have background. Well, that means it is streaming onto Facebook. Okay. I'll just quiet with the Facebook. There we go. Right. Okay. Take two. Welcome to the Mass Media Tribe Meetup for March 4, 2022. Mass Media Tribe is something that was actually started as a physical event back in 2018. We were doing physical events on the Gold Coast and also in Brisbane. And the whole idea was to help people step up with their message, to give people different marketing tools and different speakers and different knowledge every month to help them step up with their marketing message and to do it in a very cost-effective way. When we were doing this as a physical event, there was a charge to attend. It was $20 to attend, and since COVID has happened, it has been a free event. So that's been fantastic to reach people all over the world. My name is Aldwyn Altuney, otherwise known as the Media Queen, and yes, you are at an AA meeting as well. My initials are AA, it's AA Expose Media is the business name, and no, it does not stand for Alcoholics Anonymous, okay? It stands for my initials, and it really is such a pleasure and honor to be with you today. We also have in the room our guest speaker all the way from Sydney. Lia Zalums is going to be speaking today about how to express your leadership power, and we have some other amazing people in the room too who we will be hearing from shortly. If you're watching this on Facebook and you would like to join us in the Zoom room, you will just need to register on Eventbrite. We've kept the Eventbrite open. The registration's open for another 90 minutes or so until about 2 o'clock Queensland time. So if you join us in the Zoom room, you have a chance to win prizes at the end of today. You need to be in the Zoom room to win prizes. And if you're in the Zoom room too, you also get the opportunity to introduce yourself and to do the in-room networking as well.
Aldwyn, just on that, on the Eventbrite link, there are two options. You can join here, which then brings you into an Eventbrite Zoom room, or there's a link to join Zoom. Does it matter which link they press?
You need to register on Eventbrite to go into Zoom. If you register on Eventbrite, we can see that you've come in and we have your details. If you come straight into the Zoom, then we just won't have your details. So ideally, it's always best to register on Eventbrite.
No, but there's two options on the Eventbrite link, is to join the room, and then it's an Eventbrite labeled room, or there's another button that says go to Zoom. So I pressed go to Zoom to come straight in here.
Okay, got it.
So that might confuse people.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm not sure about that.
Well, maybe press go to Zoom.
Go to Zoom, right? So go to Zoom works. Okay, go to Zoom works. We know that. Okay, there might be limited functionality possibly, because sometimes you can access Zoom through a web browser and it looks different to when you go through other ways. So I'm not sure if I haven't actually tested that myself. I'm not sure about that. How did everyone else get on? Did you go to Zoom from here? Just the others here? No? Suzanne?
Straight from Zoom, yeah.
Straight from Zoom. Straight from Eventbrite, straight to Zoom. Okay, got it. All right, so if you register on Eventbrite, you'll see there, it'll say go to Zoom. So go to Zoom, and then we'll see you here shortly for those who want to join us. All right, thank you so much for clarifying that. That's great. And I know it can be a bit confusing with the online world and all the different, tools we've got out there and apps, etc. And things are constantly changing all the time too. So I know, sometimes it can get confusing. And if you're out there, one of these people that just gets very frustrated by technology, well, you're not alone. Okay, you're not alone. We have a tech expert here in the room, David. He knows all about it. And, it's perfectly fine, because everything is hard until it becomes easy, my friends. Okay, so, just remember that everything's hard until it becomes easy. So if you're frustrated right now, it's okay, because life is all about constantly tweaking and changing things. So a little bit about me. I've actually got 38 years media experience. And I know I don't look a day over 25, thank you very much. I actually started when I was 10. I was first featured in the Manly Daily in Sydney. I was a Northern Beaches girl, and that was for table tennis at the time. And I used to just beat the hell out of the ball. My dad said anger is danger. I internalized my anger for years, and I found table tennis at a young age, and then just used to beat the hell out of that ball. Very frustrated by what I saw on the news for a long time growing up. My dad used to watch the news every night, not just one channel of news. He would watch multiple channels of news, 2 hours of negative news every night at least. And I remember as a kid one day being so upset by what I saw on the news, literally crying. And I went to Dad and said, why are people so cruel? Why is life like this? And he hugged me and he said, that's just how the world is. And that's how I believe the world was. And so I internalized my anger. Even though table tennis was a good release, I still felt very frustrated. I felt that I wasn't, couldn't really do anything to help. I mean, we're seeing it right now. We've seen COVID. We've seen, now we've got Russia, bombing Ukraine and Ukraine attacking Russia. And, now there's all of this unfolding, which, with a lot of things that happen in the world like this, there's many things that we can't control. As individuals, we can put love that way, we can meditate, we can pray, we can do those kind of things. However, there's a lot that we can't control in the world. And if we focus on all the negative news out there, we're going to potentially end up depressed and worst case scenario, end up suicidal. And that's what happened to me for a long time growing up. I was very depressed. I was bullied as a kid, never felt I belonged, never felt seen or heard. And internalizing my anger, I was very self-destructive through my teenage years. And then I found the power of the media as a great way to make a difference, to actually help get across messages about things that upset me or angered me in the world. And I thought, if I can just impact one person with this message, it's worth putting this message out. And that's where my fascination with the media really started. After being interviewed by the Manly Daily at age 10 for table tennis, I was then on Cartoon Connection on Channel 7 at age 11. I did a radio show at age 13. Another way I released my anger was by writing poetry. I used to write some very aggressive poetry, and I had a poetry show at age 13, and then went on and did a media degree. And I worked as a journalist for many years after that, over 20 years as a journalist on TV, radio and print. And now I've had my own media business now based on the Gold Coast in Queensland. Although right now I'm in Brisbane. I'm actually at a beautiful place called Victory Offices right in Fortitude Valley. It's a 900 Ann Street, Fortitude Valley. It's a fantastic location if you're looking for a serviced office in Queensland, in the heart of Brisbane. It is really stunning here, beautiful views, etc. So I'm here today because I have a networking event straight after this. Always allow enough time for parking though. Parking can be a bit of a pain in Brisbane, although I must say this is something really special, this place here. So that's where I am today. I've had the media business since 2002. So 20 years now I've had my media business. That's longer than a lot of marriages. And even though I've never been married or had kids, I'm proud of that achievement. So that's, and that's the thing is, when you love what you do, they say you never have to work another day in your life when you love what you do. And I think that is the trick to life, is to really find what it is that elevates your emotions and elevates your feelings in life and gives you more joy. Because regardless of what's going on in the world that we can't control, there's always something we can be grateful for. There's always something we can be grateful for. And it's all about what we choose to focus on. And we can actually have a lot of fun even in lockdown, right? You can dance around the house, you can sing, you can learn an instrument, you can do cooking. There's lots of different things you can do even in lockdown. So there's no excuses not to live an extraordinary life regardless of what is happening around us. And I think now more than ever, it's really important that we step up. And I invite you, if you are ready to share your message with the world, then you are in the right place. This is a really beautiful, supportive community, the Mass Media Tribe group. We have some phenomenal people in our community, and we do have ongoing Mass Media Tribe events with different guest speakers. So today we're going to hear from the others in the room here. And what we're going to hear today is people's names, your name, what you do, where you're from, so your name, where you're from, what you do, and what you want to get out of today, so we can tailor the content for you today. And then I'm going to present a short segment on how to get free publicity, and then we're going to hear from Lia about how to express your leadership power. Then we're going to have a question and answer. We'll have Q&A at the end, and then we'll have our giveaways before we wrap up the Zoom meeting and recording here today. So let's start first. Who would like to start first with their introduction? Just pop your hand up on Zoom here. Who'd like to go? Good on you, David. All right, just unmute yourself there and let us know your full name, where you're from, what you do, and what you want to get out of today. Thank you.
Okay, my name is David Vine. I live in Logan, just south of Brisbane. What I do, I kind of like do lots of things actually, kind of a bit like you, Aldwyn, in terms of being able to getting people to actually share their stories through different outlets that are out there. In other words, like whether it's through multi-author collaborative books, magazines, even interviews that I'm actually running through my own Facebook channel that I'm actually running at the moment. So what I want to get out of today is to learn more from Lia here about more about leadership and what she does, and get some more media tips from you, Aldwyn.
Fantastic, David. Thank you so much. And thank you for going first. That's very brave of you. Well done. Well done, David. And David does have a few compilation books coming out. So if you're looking to get yourself out further, now being in a compilation book is a very powerful marketing tool. I call it exponential marketing. And so if you do want to have a chapter in one of David's books, then please do reach out. David, can you just share the title of the books that you're producing and when the deadlines are for those?
Well, the first one I'm actually doing a book around leadership. Actually, the anthology is well, it's going to be a series of books. Actually, the first series in the book is all around resilience. So the whole idea is to get people to be actually share their stories of resilience through the book, to encourage and help grow better leaders for the future. That's
fantastic.
That's one of them. Another one is tech guide for the over 50s compilation. So in that one, I'm looking for all sorts of people. That when I say tech guide, no, don't just think of just tech. No, it's just think of the world around tech. In other words, like social media and kind of like stuff what you do on as well, like the power of being online, that sort of stuff as well.
Fantastic. And that's the thing, I was co-host of a show called Tech Webcast, which actually had over 1 million downloads in 8 years. And I am definitely not a tech expert, right? However, the beauty of that show is that we interviewed people about how they use technology, right? About what sort of apps they use, what sort of computers they use, what sort of phones, that kind of thing. So you don't have to know everything about a topic to actually be able to share your experience around that topic. And that's the thing where a lot of people get stuck. And, I say, you just need to know 10% more than someone else and you can teach it, right? You don't have to know everything. In fact, we'll never know everything about a topic, right? So yes, fantastic, David. So reach out to David if you want to be in the leadership book or the technology for over 50s book. That sounds fantastic, David. Brilliant. And, very affordable to get into these books. I'm in about 14 books at the moment. And I've invested between 1,000 to 11,000 per book, depending on what you're getting from the book, how many copies you get and that kind of thing. So, you can get into a lot of books nowadays between $1,000 to $2,000. You can buy a chapter basically in a book. That's Australian dollars, and it's definitely a good investment for your marketing.
Like what I was saying before about it's all about the power of storytelling.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, is your X factor is your story, my friends, right? Your X factor is your story. No one else has your story. So how you share your story, how you package that up is really important to be able to, share the wisdom that you have from all the ups and downs through your life. Fantastic, David. Thank you so much for going first. All right, who's next? Who are we going to hear from next? Gabrielle, excellent, fantastic. Just unmute yourself. So just your full name, where you're from, what you do, and what you want to get out of today. Thank you, Gabrielle.
All right. My name is Gabrielle Engstrom, and I live in Tambourine Village, and that's in Queensland. And what I do, I have been over 30 years a naturopath and biofeedback practitioner, and also sound therapist. Now, I have revived my book, which is this one, and it's called Tools for Life Challenges. And this book is all about what you can do when you go to a divorce or to separation, how you can help yourself and also your children. It's a very easy book to read, and I actually just revived it again, and I gave it to somebody who is, he used to be a boxer. He actually is my gym trainer, and he's going to a divorce. And he said it was amazing. He got so much out of it. And I got so excited about that. I went, woohoo, let's go for it. So I have decided to now do, well, I was going to do it last week, but because of the rain, that put a stop to it, to do some videos about it, and then also hopefully do some talks about it, because so many people are going through some heavy times also in relationship. And what I have found with this book, it either saves your relationship or it finishes it. But if it finishes it, then it was ready to finish anyway. If it saves it, well, how fantastic is that? So yeah, that's all about me.
Wonderful. And do you have a great relationship saving tip for us? What's something we can do to help our relationships along, do you think, Gabrielle?
Communication.
Communication. I love it.
It's all about communication. When people stop communicating, honestly communicating, not just blah, 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 then that will already help a lot. And kind of make sure, if you are under stress, be honest and say what is, in a nice way. Because what I found many times, people hold their anger and frustration in, and then they explode. Somebody just needs to do one wrong thing, and it can be squeezing the toothpaste in the wrong way, and it goes, wow, you've always done that, blah, 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 blah. And that's when then the worm starts. You really have to communicate from the beginning. I know in the beginning you're all in love, but after a while you stop communicating, and then I could see that in my marriage afterwards, and yeah, it wasn't there. So anyway, we all learn. Now that's what I'm actually grateful for. I learned a lot. So, and also when I went to the divorce and the separation, I had quite a few clients who went through the same thing. And thank God, they really urged me to write a book about it, because they wanted to know what I was doing. So thank God for them, and I did. And it's still working really well. Actually, I was just telling the post office lady, and I said, sometimes clients come to me and they tell me some tip, and I went, oh my God, that sounds really good. And she said, well, it's in your book. And I went, perhaps I have to read my book again.
Oh, that's so
anyway,
funny. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's really funny. Well, we have a lot of genius there, and the memory sometimes fails us as we get a little bit older.
Exactly.
But that's brilliant. Yeah, well done, Gabrielle.
Yeah,
and
sometimes we have to use. Sometimes we have to use our own, what we are telling other people we should do ourselves too.
Yes, we teach what we most need to learn. I heard once.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
Oh,
dear. Yeah.
And I actually heard once the 3 C's of relationships. The 3 C's is commitment, and someone said compromise, but I actually like the word co-creation rather than compromise, and communication, of course, is massive. And that's the thing, is people will bottle up stuff, often, and not talk about it because they don't want to offend someone, or, and then it just builds up often, and then people can just explode, and then it can get really ugly. And, the thing is that we change cells completely. All our body is completely new every 7 years, and they talk about the 7-year itch. 7-year itch is interesting, right? We have completely new bodies, and people change every 7 years or so. And in fact, some people will say, so I often ask this question, is it natural for human beings to be monogamous for life? Is it natural as a state for human beings? And someone said to me once, they said, well, there's been a scientific study done on this, and they said, actually, it's natural for 8 years for a human being to be monogamous for 8 years. And if they have a child, it extends 4 years per child. Now, that's not to say that you can't commit to someone and be monogamous for longer than that. Like my parents' 52nd year wedding anniversary this year, 52 years they've been together, my parents. And, people have stayed together longer than that. but is it a natural state for human beings? And if it is only actually 8 years as a natural state if you don't have children, well, that means it's going to take some effort, isn't it? It's going to take some effort to stay, you know, to stay connected and to stay with similar interests. Otherwise, if you're not going in the same path together, you're potentially going apart, right? So
and that's exactly, and that's what I'm also talk about. It really depends what each person does. You know, of course, if you're codependent, that's not a good thing. But then you also have people who develop themselves in one way and the other person doesn't develop in that way at the same time, then you will have problems because you suddenly have totally different views. And I remember, and I even wrote it in the book, you know, by the end of it, we were just talking about the weather and and what the kids were doing. And yes, it was probably prolonged because of the children. But I mean, in the beginning, I always say to people in the beginning, you loved each other. So, and that's what I'm pushing very much to. Don't get nasty at the end because there was love once. So do it nicely. It is no use to get nasty. There's no use to kind of take away certain things. I actually, when my ex-husband was away, and I packed all his stuff and sent it away to him. And I told my lawyer, I said, please, you know, the divorce, please do it nicely. I do not want any fighting because it's not necessary. So, and, you know, it all went quite well. So we did it also because we didn't want to damage the children too much, because that's important too.
Absolutely, Gabrielle. And this is a hot topic, and I could actually talk with you for a long time on this because I love chatting about relationships. It's one of my favorite things. And David's just asked there, what do you think of polyamory, which I believe is when you have multiple partners, right, David? Yeah, right. So that's an interesting question, that one, right? And I think my opinion on that one is I think it's important that there's open communication if that is to be the case. However, what can happen often is that someone will get jealous often in that case, right? So, you know, you need to be at a very mature point, I think, to be able to handle that. And, you know, I often think, well, if you're happy with your partner, why would you want to go anywhere else anyway? Like, you know, I don't really get it. I think often when people stray, there's something that they're lacking in their relationship. That's my opinion on that one. Whatever,
I don't know. I mean, I'm not for polyamorous, don't get me wrong in that way. You know, I'm the queen. And if I can't be the queen, I don't want to be there. But I've met people who do it and it works really well. And I do admire them. So, and I went, well done. And they have problems too, like, you know, in every relationship, of course. But it's an interesting one. Very interesting.
It is. And for those watching this right now on Facebook, and if you're watching this if you're watching it on YouTube, let us know what you think. What do you think of this, you know, and what sort of relationship tips have you got for us to help keep the love there? Because the thing is, the topic today is actually a leadership. And what happens often with many leaders is that if their relationship breaks up, you know, suddenly their whole life collapses. I've seen people that have been millionaires, very successful business people, suddenly their relationship breaks up, and I've heard of people becoming homeless after that even, right? Worst case scenario. So relationships is actually a really important part of leadership, you know, having healthy relationships, whatever that looks like to you, you know, having healthy relationships with open communication, as you say, I think very, very important. So thank you for sharing, Gabrielle. Can
I just have one more thing to say? There was actually an insight, which I was in Sydney for that, and I was interviewed, you know, the Inside Group with I forgot her name, and we talked about polyamorous, and they were quite interesting people who had all different relationships. It was if you can go back, perhaps you have to go back and look for it, and it was called something like When Love Fails, and by Jenny Brockie. And that was really quite an interesting one.
Very good. Well, please pop those, any of those links, pop them into the under where you're seeing this on Facebook, in the Facebook Live, in the Mass Media Tribe group. Please pop it in there. So you pop it into Zoom, we're going to lose it after the event. Whereas if you put it in Facebook, we'll be able to refer back to that. So yes, please put that. That sounds very interesting. And of course, you know, then there's swingers clubs, and there's, you know, there's so many different versions. In fact, I heard on the radio on the Gold Coast, there was one couple that had been together 20 years, and the husband actually wanted the wife to find a lover. And so not only did she find a lover, the lover ended up moving in with them. And so some nights she spent with the lover and some nights she spent with the husband, and it was the husband's idea. And so I found that fascinating. So, you know, whatever works for you, you know, as long as there's more love and less war, that's my opinion on this, you know, make more love, less war. And as long as there's open communication, we're all good. Exactly. Thank you so much, Gabrielle. Thank you. Thank you. We'll move around the Zoom room because I know time will fly before we know it. So, so who would like to share next? Suzanne, Eva. Suzanne, over to you. Please unmute yourself. Let us know where you're from, what you do, and what you want to get out of today. Thank you. Oh, we can't hear you there, Suzanne. Why can't hear you there? Let's see. Talking of tech issues. Can't hear you. Can anyone else hear Suzanne? No, we can't hear her. Okay. Okay, just check that, have you got a headset or anything plugged in, or that you're, okay, so Sue is from Brisbane. She's a business mentor. She's here to listen and learn about leadership styles. Okay, that's what she's put into the chat. And there we go, that's Suzanne done. So we have just been her voice for her. Thank you so much, Suzanne. Well, if you come back on later, sometimes what happens when the audio goes is that sometimes there's maybe Facebook Messenger or something else that's using your audio in the background. That could be, so just check the mic settings there and check the Zoom mic settings that they're coming through Zoom, I would recommend. Fantastic, great to have you here, Sue. Thank you so much. Eva, would you like to share? We can't see your face, but we can see that you are there. There we go. Eva, would you like to share?
So my name is Eva.
Yes.
I'm from Freshwater in New South Wales. I'm running a website where I sell second-hand clothes, which are mine at the moment. But I expect to actually be part of the slow fashion movement and learn all the foundation of running an e-commerce store and running social media. Like, there is so many aspects of running a business, and specifically online, that I'm actually very happy to learn by myself. But also, I'm also aware that it's important to be out there, because there is maybe things that I'm not aware of. So that's why I'm here today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Eva. Thank you for sharing. And Lia, we are going to hear more from Lia, but Lia, if you want to do a little intro now, so we get to hear your beautiful voice, and then we'll come to the media presentation. Over to Lia.
Yes, thank you. Great to be here. My name's Lia Zalums, and I'm the founder and lead coach for Z Access Leadership Consultancy. And I basically teach and coach the personal leadership aspects for, like, women business owners, but more broadly than that, it is about people who want to live, enjoy, and do what they love and make money at it. So I teach the leadership aspect of it and the sales aspect, and I'm based in Sydney. So really excited to be with you all today. And one thing I hope to get out of this today is that I want us all to experience a transformative experience where we leave this space better than what we came in for, however that is for us, and that helps us then to take a positive action towards one goal that takes us closer to our mountaintop. So I hope you've all got a mountaintop you're aiming for, and it's your mountaintop, because that's 101 of leadership. So that's my goal for today.
Fantastic, Lia. I can't wait to hear more on that. Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Sydney. And Eva was from Freshwater, which is Northern Beaches area. Lia is from Annandale area, from the city in Sydney. So we're from, and the rest of us are all sort of Southeast Queensland. So so where you're watching this from now, I know there's a few people on Facebook watching this. Let us know, where are you joining us from? And for all of you here also on the Zoom, please do share your links. If you have any links where we can connect with you, share them into the Facebook Live comments underneath where this is being streamed to. I've actually popped that link into the chat for you, so you can see where we are streaming to. And if you could just pop in there so that everyone can see your comments under that Facebook Live, that would be wonderful. And of course, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, then please share the love. Share the love and let us know what you're getting. If you have any questions, we'll be monitoring the Facebook chat as well over there. Wonderful. Thank you so much for everyone for sharing. I'm going to share my screen now, and we will go to a presentation now on how to gain free positive publicity. How to gain free positive publicity. Okay, here we are. Just want to make sure you see that full screen. Okay, can you see that? Everyone see that okay? Yes, just nod if you can see that. Can you see my screen? Yes, okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, so this really is my area of specialty, is how to gain free positive publicity. Now, while we've seen a whole lot of negative news out there lately, there is also a whole lot of positive news out there, right? In all downturns, in all breakdowns, there are always breakthroughs, and there are some amazing people rallying together right now, helping, victims of war, victims of COVID, victims of floods. We've got a lot of people out there that are doing amazing things. In fact, I just saw on Facebook yesterday that one of the farmers around Lismore had rescued 60 cows that were about to be drowning from the floods, rescued the cows and got them onto a bit of land. I thought that was really good news. I was very happy to hear that. So with every situation, there's always some good news, and any negative can be turned into a positive. There's lots of ways you can share your good news and turn these negatives into positives, right? Now, if you want to get yourself out there online more and want to be seen, heard, and known more, who's that? Who wants to be seen, heard, and known more? Yeah, thank you. Well, if that's you, I do recommend consider a brand name for yourself. So Media Queen is my brand name, and you can see I have a cartoon here that goes with it. It definitely helps you stand out, and particularly if you have an unusual name, okay, that people have a lot of trouble saying. Aldwyn Altuney is an unusual name, right? Media Queen's very memorable. It's catchy, it's memorable. Some other brand names are like Reno Kings, Wizard of Words, Quantum Queen, Empowered Survivor. So 2 or 3 words that sum up what you do, ideally. Check that, ideally no one else is using that brand name, or no one else in Australia, if you're in Australia, depending where you are in the world. And I would recommend trademark it if you really love it. Trademark it, and then, step into it and own that. So I have trademarked Media Queen. I've trademarked Mass Media Mastery many years ago. And now many people just know me as that. And the cartoon, the caricature is memorable for several reasons. Now, one of my favorite shows back in the day was I Dream of Jeannie. Anyone remember I Dream of Jeannie? It was I love that, right? And the little cartoon they had at the beginning, dun, 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 and it was little cartoons, right? It was fantastic, and it was so memorable, and even the jingle sticks with me to this day. So, what can you do to bring some fun to what you do? Have a think, if you are going to get a caricature done for your brand, then have a think about what that represents. Now, I've had people look at this cartoon of me here, and I actually had 2 film directors in America. They looked at this and they said, "We hate your cartoon. We hate it. It's a really ugly version of you. We're going to get you a proper one done." And so we went to Disneyland in Los Angeles a few years ago, and we sat down with one of the cartoonists at Disneyland, and she started to draw up this beautiful picture, and she did this lovely Media Queen version. But however, it was more like a princess rather than what we can see here. And so what I did at the time is I put on Facebook, I said, what do you prefer then? Do you prefer this Media Queen or the princess version? And it was interesting because some people like the princess version, some people like this version. And in the end, I thought, I'm just going to go with what I like, and that's the original version, which was this. And this represents many things. Firstly, it's putting the crown on your own head. You don't need to be born into royalty to put yourself out there, okay? So it's about, no matter what your background, you can still step up with your message. That's what the crown represents. It's also celebrating your uniqueness, right? Ideally, you want to have a brand that celebrates your uniqueness. Now, for me, I'm known for my big hair and my big smile, okay? And the other thing is having fun with this. Now, my nose is definitely not that big, okay? So it's having fun with what you do as well. And it's the Media Queen brand represents putting yourself out there, having fun with what you do, enjoying the exuberance that you are. So I suggest consider.
And can I just say, Aldwyn,
sure.
What I love about this is your mouth is the biggest standout feature, and you are all about helping people use their mouth better. And I love that, because that is through and through what you stand for. So I just thought I'd throw that in. Right?
Yes,
it's
actually,
not your nose, it's
yeah.
your mouth. It's not actually your hair, it's your mouth. I didn't even notice the crown, but thank you for sharing. But it's about loving speaking up. It's so
oh my goodness, yes, and having a nose for news. Actually, I just thought of that now. Having a nose for news, a big nose for news. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's great. I love that. You know, I never looked at it that way. Thank you so much, Lia. That's beautiful. It's got goosebumps. That's fantastic. Well, there you go. See these subtle messages that, you know, people see there that sometimes you don't see. The thing is that, you know, that you are happy with your brand, right? At the end of the day, it's always good to get other people's opinions, but at the end of the day, with whatever you put out, you know, with all of your messaging, with all of your marketing, it's important that you be true to you. Be true to yourself, right? Too many people worry about what other people think. And, you know, while it's good to do market research, right? It is good to an extent to do market research. At the end of the day, you need to be happy with what you put out there. And it is about speaking your truth. So I just wanted to make that point. Thank you for that. Now, let's look at the journey that people go on when they're looking to get publicity. They start right here. This is my rocket ship model of getting publicity. You may feel right now like you're the world's best kept secret. Who feels like that right now? Just pop a yes into the chat if you feel like you're the world's best kept secret. Yes, Suzanne, thank you. That's exactly right. A lot of people feel like they're the world's best kept secret. And that's the thing, is that all celebrities start off as the world's best kept secret, right? I've had the great fortune as a journalist over the years to interview people like Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, Cyndi Lauper, Debbie Harry from Blondie. You know, these are all people that we know now. However, once upon a time, they were the world's best kept secret. And, you know, they're people that sleep like you and I. They go to the bathroom like you and I. You know, they are just people like you and I. It's just that they are better known, and there's certain things that have made them better known, and we're going to look at that shortly, right, as how to go from being the world's best kept secret to working your way up this ladder. And the first step then is, okay, so you get that you're the world's best kept secret. You get that, okay, you've got more to share, and then you make a start. And 50% of anything you do is just starting. Okay, so being here today, you have made a start, and I congratulate you for that. The fact you're leaning in, you're learning more about how to get yourself out there. The next thing is that you then make some steady progress. You'll get some runs on the board. You start to think about, what are some media angles? What are some ways that I can share my message? What is it exactly that I want to share? Right? And then you get some steady runs on the board. You might start to get some speaking gigs, or you get some local media coverage, right? You get some steady runs on the board. And then next thing is, when you build your confidence up, you are then shooting for the stars, and you might end up on major TV, you might end up on huge podcasts around the world, or video interviews, etc. Soon you're starting to get more and more media, and the more media you get, media feed off other media. Right? Media feed off other media. So never underestimate the power of any media you get. In fact, working in local media for many years as I did, often when we put stories out, we would be approached by national TV shows that would say, can you give us a contact number for that person you interviewed, because we really like that story and we want to interview that person too. This happens a lot, okay? And now what's happening, obviously, with social media world, right? We're at a time now, we've got, out of the 7.9 billion people on the planet, we have 3.9 billion active social media users. So what's happening now is journalists are looking to social media every single day for story ideas. So how you share your messaging in your social media is also crucially important now if you want to really build your profile. And you know, I must say now I'm at a point, thankfully, where I'm getting so many opportunities coming my way. Just like yesterday, I had 2 speaking gigs. You know, people are approaching me to be interviewed on major shows overseas. You know, just phenomenal opportunities are coming my way now, and that's because the momentum has now built up, and I've got to a point where I'm quite well known, and people are now coming to me looking for you know, for guest speaking, you know, guest speakers, etc. And, you know, we have those opportunities we pass on to our clients as well, which is wonderful, because there's always, you know, people wanting to share your story, right? And if we haven't heard your story yet, then you are the world's best kept secret until you're ready to step up with your story. So it's never too late to get yourself out there. There's literally millions of media outlets out there, millions of journalists looking for stories right now. In fact, in 2018, we only had 500,000 podcasts worldwide. Now we have 2.2 million podcasts, right? So that's just the podcast alone, yet alone all the online TV shows, yet alone all the magazines and the newspapers and radio stations and traditional TV out there as well. And then next thing you know, you get a few big runs on the board. Next thing you know, you are a star, right? You might not be as big as the Hugh Jackmans of the world. However, you are a star in your industry. And that's the big thing, is if you're in business, You want to be known as the #1 expert in your industry so that when people are ready to do business with you, they think of you. I had someone the other day, I've known them for 15 years and finally they're ready to do business with me now, right? And we had an amazing media consultation. She was blown away by it. But, you know, sometimes it takes people a while to get to the point where they feel they're ready to work with you, right? And this can happen. And so keep the faith, keep true to what you're doing and be patient on this journey. I highly recommend be patient with your marketing journey because there's many aspects to marketing, right? Publicity is just one of them. Getting free publicity is one, and it's a very powerful one that is highly underutilized. And if you have been putting money into advertising, if you've been spending thousands of dollars on advertising, I recommend you stop straight away unless it's working amazingly for you, because free publicity is actually worth 3 to 8 times more in value than what you will pay for advertising. And you have 22 times more views of stories versus ads. Okay, so it's very, very powerful to get free publicity. Now, there's certain keys to success on this journey. The first key is passion. What are you passionate about? And this is a good thing to revisit, I believe, every so often. Revisit, what is it you're really passionate about and that really lights you up? What is it that lights you up that when you do it, time just flies? Time flies for me all the time, so I know I'm loving what I'm doing, right? So passion, what is it that you love to do that really lights you up? Because, you know, the other thing about this is that, you know, Dr. Hawkins' scale of consciousness, I'm going to bring this out because this has absolutely shifted my whole perspective. Since I saw this diagram, I'm a very visual person, and see this diagram right here. Actually, I'm just going to take it off the virtual background for a moment and just show you this. Okay. So can you see this here? This is Dr. Hawkins' scale of consciousness, okay? Now, this was scientifically proven about 100 years ago that we vibrate at different frequencies and that we are actually 99.9 and another 8/9% energy, frequency, and vibration. And when you feel different feelings, you are vibrating at different frequencies. So what happens here, what this is showing is that when you are at love and above, you're vibrating at over 500 hertz. Okay, love is actually 528 hertz. When you are in joy, we talk about passion, when you love what you do, when you're in joy and gratitude, you're vibrating at 540 hertz, which is up here. And when you are at peace, when you meditate and, you know, you find peace within yourself, then you're vibrating at 600 hertz. And the highest vibration you'll feel as a human being is 700 to about 1,000 hertz. Okay, Dalai Lama is said to have thousands of hertz. However, that, you know, they're the highest vibrations you'll feel as a human being. Whereas when you are angry with anything, right? Angry with anything, and that could be a partner, that could be someone in business, could be anything, you are vibrating at 150 hertz. When you are in fear, which most of the world right now is in fear, and there's no coincidences because that's how the powers that be control people, is through fear, right? So fear is at 100. We have underneath that, we have grief, we have apathy, and the lowest vibrations you will feel are shame. You're vibrating at 20 hertz when you feel shame around anything. And guilt. Is there anything you feel guilty about? At guilt, you're vibrating at 30 hertz. Now, there's going to be times we go up and down these scales, and this actually all ties into your chakra points as well, which might sound woo-woo to some people. However, this is also all scientifically proven. Look into it. Okay, this ties in with your chakra points. A lot of people have stuck energy down here. They're stuck in their root chakra, and that's from the belly down. Okay, and here, when you get into heart space, you're in flow, and that's the heart space which goes out to your arms physically, right? That's when time and space disappear. And that's when you're really in the flow and in the zone, which is when you get into your passion, right? And then above that, then we've got the throat chakra, which is the blue here. We've got the third eye, the crown, and the soul chakra, right? They're just some of the chakras, right? The main chakra. So this is really interesting to notice. And they say, you know, the healing is in the feeling. So notice where you're vibrating at. Notice where people around you are vibrating at, because the higher your vibration, the more opportunities you will attract to yourself in the media as well as in business as well, right? And this is a big thing to get. It may not be something that, you know, a lot of people can logically put their head around. However, this is what happens. The more you vibrate up here, the more opportunities you'll attract and the greater experience of life you will have, as well as people in your life will have. Now, there's going to be times, of course, we're going to go up and down this scale. Okay, it's not natural to be just up here the whole time, right? That's just not, the human condition is we're going to go up and down. The trick is that how long do you choose to stay down here and stay stuck in this energy? How quickly are you going to get the lessons and move out of it, right? and look at how is this happening? Great question. Not why is this happening to me, but how is this happening for me? How is this happening for me? And I want to thank Dr. Espen. This was from a 3-day event that I got this diagram, and it has absolutely changed my life in the last few months that I've been working with him and doing a lot of quantum work. It has totally shifted my perspective on life and on how I do life, getting conscious where we're often unconscious in how we do life. So anyway, that's a whole other topic, but yeah, it's really interesting to look at that. So passion is so important. And in fact, all the celebrities I mentioned before, they're all passionate about what they do, right? And they're willing to do whatever it takes to be able to do their passion full time. So a lot of actors, you'll find a lot of singers, etc. They start out waitressing or waiting at restaurants, etc. To earn the money to do what they really love. And sometimes there's a bit of transition there that can happen for that. Purpose. What is your purpose? I do believe we're here for a reason. Everyone is here for a reason. You're 1 in a billion just by being born. You beat about 1 billion swimmers to get to the finish line. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? And often purpose and passion are closely tied in together. In fact, Bob Proctor, the late, great Bob Proctor, absolute legend, he died at 87 recently, just in the last month or so. And there's a video on YouTube where he says, how do you find your purpose? And his answer was, do what you love. Every single day, do as much as you can of what you love. That's how you find your purpose. Right? Very interesting. And then package is really important. How you package up your message. A lot of people overcomplicate things when it comes to putting their message out. Okay, keep things very, very simple, I recommend, with your messaging, and particularly when it comes to getting media coverage. Ideally, you want to think about how a 14-year-old can understand something when it comes to putting your media messaging out. Okay, so if a 14-year-old can understand what you're saying, then that's good messaging. Keep it very, very simple. Keep the tech jargon, etc. out of it, because if you confuse people, you'll lose people. So package is important. Your profile. Okay, what happens when people Google you? Are you Googleicious, right? What happens when people Google you? Have you Googled yourself lately and seen what's come up? Right, very interesting to Google yourself. Or if you want an alternative view to Googling yourself, then look at DuckDuckGo as a different search engine, right? DuckDuckGo yourself. Okay, people is also really important, right? How building relationships. Now, Leah, I've known for many years, right? As well as David and a few others here. Sue, I've known quite a few of you for quite some time. And, building relationships with people is crucial, as well as when it comes to media. Once journalists know you and they know you're an expert in your field and they know that you come across with passion in your interviews, particularly if you're being interviewed on radio or TV, they will come back to you looking for more content from you. When they want an expert in your industry, they will come back to you. And that's the beauty. And this has happened with many of my clients who've appeared on TV and different media over time, is that the journalists have come back to them when they've done a similar story and they just want to be able to access an expert in that field quickly. And they will have several experts on their books, right? So if you don't feel right now like you're the #1 expert in your industry, don't worry about it, because they will have generally several experts. They'll have up to 3 experts in any field on their books. There's a process to getting publicity, which I'll cover briefly shortly. And once you get the publicity, then it's important to then make the most of that. Let people know that you've had that publicity, and there's many different ways that you can really propel your message as well. Share on social media, share on a media page on your website, email your clients, and consistently put that out there. Once you've appeared in one media outlet, you can promote that again and again and again afterwards. Now, I have an awesome media magic formula. It is in the shape of a wand, and I have my magic wand right here. And this is to show that anything is possible for you, okay? You don't need permission from anyone else, right? You are allowed to do, have, be whatever you want in life. When it comes to getting media, the very first step to start with is look at what is it that you want to promote first. Okay, often as an entrepreneur, we'll have many things going at the one time, right? The entrepreneurial curse, that some people say, is that often we have lots of different projects on the go. So what is the main thing that you want to promote right now? And if finances are the biggest thing for you right now, if you want to earn more money right now, if you want more leads, more sales, then where are you putting, like the 80-20 rule, where are you putting 20% of your efforts in and getting 80% result? and then focus on whatever that is for you, right? Pareto's principle. So it starts with, what is your product service message and what is your story behind that? So the A of our awesome steps is about articulating your story, because the media don't care about the widget or what it is you're promoting. They want to know about the story behind that. What is your story behind why you started your business? What is it that you do that's unique, newsworthy, different? How does this help the wider population, etc.? Okay, the W of the awesome steps is to work the angles, work your angles. Okay, so media look for different angles at different times of year. So we have end of financial year, we have Mother's Day, we have International Women's Day. In fact, we have Queensland Women's Week happening right now. International Women's Day is on the 8th of March. You could put some content out for this right now, potentially, right? And even if you're a guy, right, you could talk about how women have influenced your life. It doesn't matter that, you know, if you're male or female with any of these angles. So what are some angles that you can tie in? You know, Christmas, you know, lots of different angles, start of the new year, New Year's resolutions, all those kind of things. E is about elevating your profile and about being Googleicious, right? Being that someone that if a journalist is looking to interview you, they are going to Google you. They're going to see what content is out there on you and how do you come across on camera. Ideally, have some video content out there. If you don't already, you look at starting a YouTube channel, getting some content out there, because media will be looking at how you come across on camera, particularly if you want to get some TV coverage. The S is about startling the media. And Sir Richard Branson is fantastic at this, of Virgin fame. You know, he dressed in a wedding dress to launch the Virgin Brides venture. So, you know, what are some things you can do to be creative with your message? And, you know, media are not just looking for education. They are looking for entertainment. They want to entertain as well as educate. So how can you be colorful and entertaining with what you put out there? O is about owning your power. Now, I can give you every single media strategy out there on how to get yourself out there, but if you don't own your power, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't deal with the guilt and shame, etc., from the past that might be holding you back, that fear that could be stopping you, right, then you're going to stop yourself right here. You're not going to put yourself out there, right? So really important to do the inner work. Right? Do the inner work, whatever it takes. I believe strongly in investing in yourself. I've invested $500,000 in my business and personal development in the last 17 years, and I continue to invest, right? All coaches have coaches, all great coaches have coaches. We're talking about leadership here today, right? Very interesting. Mastering interviews is the next step. Certain things to do before, during, and after interviews, which I go into a lot more detail in my free Publicity Secrets Masterclass that I run. It's a 4-hour masterclass. At the very minimum, though, I recommend if you do have an interview with someone, think about 3 main points front of mind that you want to get across in that interview. Okay, and keep the messaging very simple. What are 3 main points you could share? And then the E is about exploding the impact and really making the most of that publicity that you get. So there's the awesome steps to gaining free publicity. Now, the benefits that will happen once you do that is you will build your fame in your industry. Once you build your fame, you'll be able to charge more for what you do. You will attract clients more effortlessly once you become known in your industry. You will then have more freedom, and with every media spot that you get out there, you are leaving a legacy. A third of people die by the age of 65. 1/3 of the whole population. And, you know, we often think, oh, we've got plenty of time to do things. The next thing you know, another year goes by, another year, and then 5 years, and then 10 years. And you think, gosh, you know, have I really acted on that thing I said I wanted to do 10 years ago, you know? And if you're here right now watching this, then perhaps just maybe the time has come for you, right, to step up and really put yourself out there and make a bigger difference in the world. We do have coming up soon a great marketing opportunity for you to promote yourself for free, as well as to lift the vibration on the planet right now. Something I'm very passionate about is inspiring more truth and good news in the world, to lift the vibration on the planet and to decrease depression and suicide rates. I have had depression myself. I've had 4 friends take their own lives by the age of 45. And now through COVID, we actually have 4 times the suicide rates now since COVID. So we've actually had more people die of suicide than have actually died from COVID. So stepping up and lifting our vibration to show up better for our families and our communities, etc., is really important. So we have a monthly Global Good News Challenge. This is something I started during COVID. And every month it's a Facebook Live challenge, starts on the first Monday of the month, and it goes for as many days as whatever number month it is. So we have the third month now. We have a 3-day challenge for March, which starts next Monday, the 7th of March. And you can start your 3-day challenge anytime within those 3 days. And basically all it is very simple. You just do a Facebook Live on your personal profile, ideally. So we then share that to the Global Good News Challenge Facebook page. We share it to the Loving Life group, which has got about 2,000 members in there. Just share your name, what you do, 3 things you're grateful for, and a piece of good news. And the good news can be something about yourself, about a client, about something you've seen online. And there are many good news outlets. There's Good News Network, there's Sunny Skies News, there's news.com.au has a good news section. There's lots of good news out there as well. If you can't think of something good, news about yourself or a client, etc. And as long as you hashtag Global Good News Challenge, we'll be able to find your challenge and we'll then share it amongst our community. So it's a great way to get some free promotion. Every month, the Global Good News Challenge, all details are pinned to the top of the Global Good News Challenge Facebook page, which you will find at my linktree, linktr.ee/Aldwyn. You'll see all my links there. We also have a free Publicity Secrets Masterclass coming up. You can see the details on that at freeprSecrets.com, which is also in that link tree. And our next one is coming up on March 12th, next week. It's 9 till 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And it is $197. For those who have attended before, you are welcome to re-attend for free if you have attended this before. If you are a Mass Media Mastery member, and you have not attended this, then you get 2-for-1 tickets to this. So let me know if you are a Mass Media Mastery member. If you want to attend, we'll get you the Zoom link, or if you've attended before, then you can re-attend for free. I do update the content here. So reach out for that, freeprSecrets.com. And also a social media masterclass I'm doing online now. I've had a lot of demand from clients wanting to know how I do social media, etc. I've been doing it for a long time. And of course, the mass media world now is, it's really important to have a strong social media presence. And so I talk about how to market on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube in this masterclass. It's 4 hours online. It's on April 9, Saturday, April 9, 9 till 1 Brisbane time, Queensland time, Australian Eastern Standard Time. And it's $197 as well, and you can purchase the recording for that. If you have attended this before, you can re-attend for free as well. And for all our Mass Media Mastery clients, you get 2-for-1 tickets if you haven't attended before. Okay, that's the social media master class. And then we do have, for those that want more support on their media journey, I have a Mass Media Mastery. I have 2 versions of my programs. I have an Ignite program to get you started. That's a Kickstarter program with some time with me. And then we do monthly Zoom calls. We have a membership site. We have a Facebook group. You get lifetime access to that. And we also have the Illuminate program. So if you want to know more about that, just check that out there. And we also can have a complimentary 15-minute connection and clarity call as well, which you'll find on my link tree. If you want to book in a time with me to have a chat and see if that could work for you, then do that. Also with our programs, we offer guaranteed publicity. I don't know any other media company out there that guarantees publicity with what they do. So we actually guarantee that you will get publicity. And the guarantee is that if you go through and learn all our strategies and do everything we've said and you have not got publicity, then we will actually do it for you. We'll actually do it for free until you do get publicity, right? Which is a crazy guarantee. And that's just how we roll here. So when you're ready, then reach out and we'd love to support you on that journey. Now that's my link tree there. If you want to scan that, you can get all those links I just mentioned and also book a time in to have a chat with me. Just go to that, or you can just pop into your browser, linktr.ee/Aldwyn. All right, I have a special offer too for everyone watching this right now. The special offer is that I'm actually offering today a media strategy session worth $1,000. That's one-on-one with me, plus a ticket to a free Publicity Secrets or social media masterclass. The value is $11.97 for that, and I'm offering it today for just $197. So if you would like that, then just reach out for that. And a lot of people get amazing clarity with these media strategy sessions. we look at your branding, we look at some newsworthy angles for you, we put a media strategy in place of how you can get yourself out there. So there's a lot of value in that for that crazy price right there. So must mention that you've seen it here though, because I don't offer this outside of these events. Okay, the world is your oyster, my friends. Coming up to the end of my presentation, and I leave you with this message before we hear from the beautiful Lia Zalums. Shine bright, my friends. I believe in the power of one, and I believe in you. May your flame burn bright and light up all those around you. You are extraordinary. The world is waiting to hear your message, and I say always share with more love. And if anyone's being nasty to you right now, just remember that hurt people, and just send them love. Okay, send them love. That's my big message here for today. Thank you so much for watching that right now. I'd love to hear what you got from that, and then we're going to hear from Lia. Just pop into the chat there. What did you get from that today? What is something you've learned? You might have seen me present before. However, I never quite know what's going to come out of my mouth at any moment. So you may have heard something new or something different that you haven't heard before. So just pop into the chat. What's something you've learned from that today, or some action you're now going to take from hearing that presentation? David says TikTok, right? TikTok is definitely building in popularity, absolutely. Although you can spend a lot of time on TikTok, I must say. You can spend hours and hours on TikTok watching videos. There's some very interesting content on TikTok. Yes, TikTok is taking off as well. I'm not doing TikTok training at the moment. I've got a few things on TikTok, but I don't do a lot with that at the moment. So, and that's the thing, is you don't need to be on all social media. You just need to really look at, what is your goal with your social media, and if you want to target certain clients, then what media are those clients consuming? Leah says journos want entertainment, not just education. Yes, so be creative with how you express your message. Absolutely. Thank you, Leah. That's a great one. Gabrielle's going to start her YouTube again. Excellent. Hopefully the rain will stop so I can get to Brisbane. Gabriel, well, it's stopped here in Brisbane at the moment, so we go pretty well there. Fantastic. And anything else you got, feel free to also copy those comments over to the Facebook live stream. David said, learning more, highlighting passion in my branding. Yes, love that. Absolutely, because people are drawn to people who look like they're having fun. If you look miserable, generally you're going to attract a lot of miserable people, and you'll have if you want a pity party, well, fantastic, go that way, right? But most people are drawn to the light and repelled from the darkness generally. Right, so how can you bring more of that light to what you do, right? Gabriel, yes, branding, have a fun cartoon. Yes, that's a good one too. Absolutely, yeah, consider your branding and what's a fun cartoon you could put with that to really stand out with your images. If you look at my Instagram, actually, you'll see a lot of Media Queen shares wisdom, shares marketing tips, shares all these different things, and there's the logo is always there, the cartoon. Suzanne says your X factor is your story. Yes, use your story to let people know you are there. And I know, Suzanne, you have a phenomenal story, having worked with you as well. So yeah, so that can definitely be used to your advantage on how you've come through that and how you've come out the other side of that. And I know all of you here do have a great story, right? So the big trick here is not to compare ourselves with others with our stories, because we all have our own unique story and our own unique experiences that we attract. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right, now we're going to go over to the beautiful Lia Zalums. Lia is extraordinary. Now, Lia, if you would like to share your screen. She comes from Sydney. She runs Z-Axis Leadership Consulting. She's an absolute powerhouse, amazing lady. And we are talking today about how to express your leadership power. So please welcome to Mass Media Tribe today, Lia Zalums. Yay. Thank you, Lia. Over to you. Please unmute yourself. David's saying, if you want more in sharing your story, I can help with that. Yes, David. Check out David if you want to get in some compilation books as well. Excellent. Thank you so much, Lia. Over to you.
Great. Fantastic. And thank you so much for that inspiring whirlwind masterclass already, Aldwyn. And I can never, hear enough of you. But what I want to do now is get everybody to stand up and just shake it out, because I have stood up to deliver my piece today. And I just really ask that my ask of you is that would it be okay if you are all in today and you are focusing totally on you and your experience, because you cannot express any leadership power if you are not totally in your body and standing strong in your shoes. And so a little bit about my background. Firstly, would that be okay? Yes, all in. So I want this to be interactive. It will be a working session. And I do actually have a hard stop in half an hour. So I'm going to be talking really fast, but that's okay. But what I am all about is how we think and how we feel about ourselves, our business, our lives. And I have a background in science, in biochemistry, and I focus my coaching and teaching very much on sales skills and sales strategy and leadership. And mental toughness is something that I will talk about. It's a very powerful psychology model I use, and it's a way of measuring our cognitive tendencies right now. So I'll go into a bit of that. But I am all about changing how we lead, right? I don't think anyone's going to argue that the world needs a whole different leadership team. Our leaders are failing us, right? So how do we make better decisions? How do we use data better? How do we impact ourselves, our business, our people, and our planet so we can be that positive, that positive energy and create sustainable positive change? So where's my thing? Here it is. So I'm going to take you on a journey, and this is the journey of my business career, my life, and it's a journey I find that we all take as we take this journey through life. And we start with, what is that catalyst for change, right? Because we know that change is inevitable, but progress is not. So this is only relevant for people who want to progress, who have a goal, who want something they haven't got now, right? And this is often what I see in business owners, in people in corporate life in the middle who don't really see themselves as leaders. See yourself as a leader from this minute, this second, because you are the leader of your life. And if you don't own that, you can't possibly influence others to the extent if you don't see yourself as that powerhouse. Where are you going? Have you nominated your mountaintop? Have you nominated what your thing is that you want to do in the world? And are you on the right bus? Are you driving your own bus? So these are powerful questions for reflection that if they don't stimulate you, that's okay too. You don't have to be constantly stimulated. But if there's something stirring in you, there is work to be done. And it's the most worthwhile work you will ever do. So when we are stimulated, when that catalyst is stirring and starts to burn, we're thrown naturally into problem solving. We're thrown naturally into researching. We are searching the internet. We are searching ways to be more effective, to get our message out. That's why we're all here. We want to learn, we want to grow. Look, what's the right type of change to make? What do I need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to overcome? This is not an overnight clarity session. This is a journey. And this is, I think, Aldwyn's message: be patient with your marketing journey. But what happens is, if we persist, we do come to a point where an idea holds, it becomes clear what that breakthrough is. And it might still be muddy, but there's an inkling. But just make a decision. This is a decision point we need to make. We cannot keep researching and educating without actually making a decision about what we're going to take action on. So today, many of you said you're here to learn. You want to learn more about leadership. I say take that a step further. What is it that will make possible for you? What action do you want to take? What change do you want to make? What do you want to do differently, or what results do you want to be different? You need to be outcomes focused whenever you come into an education session. Otherwise, it's just another nice meetup. And as nice as it is, unless we set an intention, we will be bamboozled with lovely feelings and education, but we're not clear at the end what action we're going to take. But when we do start, choose one idea, follow that through, we plan, we do, we review, we test, we measure, we tweak, repeat. We stay on that path. And this is often where I'm working with people. They've often got their idea, they're often in motion and they're on that treadmill. And this is the transformation work, which really should be a much bigger part of the pie, right? Because this is messy. This is 3 steps forward and 10 steps back. This is failing. This is getting depressed. This is really falling into the depths. Often we suffer a lot of financial loss before we get financial gain. And that's painful, right? And I'm sure, Gabrielle, you can help us with that, you know, in terms of, you know, the what we need to let go of in order to move forward. So this is a really big piece, but essentially they're the steps that we're doing. And when we do that, the feedback we get from our plan, do, review process is going to direct us what direction to take. And we will come in and into our power, right? We cannot not come into our power if we persist, but we do it in an intentional, reflective way. And that's where my type of coaching, the coaching psychology work, which is the science and the theories behind leadership and human behavior and goal setting, we need that scientific approach. And that's the point of difference I bring to the table. And really, none of us would be here if we didn't want our time and our work to make positive change in the world. And that's why I'm always inspired when I'm in Aldwyn's company, because she is through and through, that is her quest. So what does leadership power look like? When we are truly in our power, and remember, this is a journey and we can put ourselves there in a heartbeat, right? If any of you have done any kind of NLP work or Tony Robbins work, we can absolutely change our state in a heartbeat, but we must take action in the direction of our goal, or that feeling disappears and we're in the pit again, right? But when we're in our power and purpose, this plays into Aldwyn's work. It takes work for most of us to know what power and purpose is for us. But when we are in it, we are getting and giving the respect and recognition for ourselves first. We must honor ourselves. And only when we honor ourselves are we then going to naturally be in an abundant mindset to be able to honor and celebrate others. If we're not respecting and recognizing ourselves for our place in the world and our contribution to positive change, very hard to be lifting someone up genuinely. And I think this is one of the big issues with women supporting women, is that we are in such a scarcity mindset as a community. Why are there not more women in leadership? It's not just because it's a male-dominated world and there's systemic biases and horrible systems. We don't own our power long enough and firm enough, and we don't do enough of the work to express it in a way so that we are understood. So this is a huge piece of work to do. And then the money will come, the recognition will come, the invitations will come. And this is, to Aldwyn's point, where she has worked tirelessly at providing platforms and support for others to shine, and she's now being recognized for that. And she's now being asked, tell us about you, the woman behind this amazing movement, Mass Media Mastery. I mean, that is not 5 minutes of showing up on social media or having a couple of meetups. Aldwyn's been relentless with this in what, the 3 or 4 years we've known each other. So know that it's a journey and it's not 5 minutes, but you absolutely can recreate and reconnect with your internal power in a heartbeat, definitely. But what qualifies me to teach and coach about leadership, like my theme is ex-corporate athlete, and I definitely want to get a meme or something around that, because I've been a sports person and a runner and a driver in corporate sales, and I've always worked in male-dominated environments, and quite frankly, it never bothered me. And a lot of the women who do, quite frankly, it didn't bother them either. So, and I was working in selling very complex high-ticket solutions in the healthcare and medical technology space. So this naturally has drawn me into the science of success, the science of coaching psychology. So That was 5 years ago. I completed that. So that gives me the baseline to now develop and deliver programs, coaching programs for leadership and sales. So I'm drawing on all my background there. And I've always been a pretty tough cookie. And but mental toughness is the profile that I work with. So that's a lot of what I teach. And I'm also a lifelong investor in learning, like Aldwyn. I reckon I would have invested at least $500,000 over the years as well. Absolutely. But this was me strutting my stuff in my Masters of Coaching Psychology degree, where 75 of us all had 7 minutes to present a project on ourselves, like a research project on ourselves in a peak performance class. So I was second to last, right? So I had to entertain. So I channeled Hogwarts. I was doing abracadabras and putting spells on people. And even our lecturer, who never smiles, was killing himself laughing. And I delivered my material and I entertained. So I know I've got that in me. And and that was absolutely a highlight of my career. And everybody in the class remembers me years later, for that. So this is now coming back to you. And are you a leader? There comes a time in every person's life. I'm actually even looking at not distinguishing male and female now. It's like I've gone beyond that, right? And David, we've got you in the room. You are equally as, part of the system here. But these are some powerful questions that I find when we ask ourselves this. This serves to tell us what we care about. Does what I do make a difference? Is it important to me that I make money solving a problem that matters to me? Now, not everybody needs to do meaningful work. They really don't. And that's okay if they are happy to turn up to a job to then pay the mortgage and find meaning in other areas of the work. That's fine. But this is like a qualifier for you, whether you are wanting a career change or whether there's something to step up and louder in your work. Do you want to make a difference and make money making a difference, right? So we're connecting profit and money with passion and purpose. And as women particularly, this is an area we can get better at. Am I paid my worth? How well do I negotiate to earn my professional value? And again, especially as solopreneurs or entrepreneurs, as coaches, people delivering services, right? It's like the incredible value that Aldwyn has shared with us in her packages, and then offering a piecemeal price that she hopes will be in everybody's budget, right? Because this is also the balance between what your market pays, right? It's like I can charge a corporate a very different amount of money to deliver the same material as I would a startup founder. And so you've got to look at the realities of your marketplace. Are you cutting through with your message around your vision, mission, message? And this is, Aldwyn's, wheelhouse. Because if you're not cutting through, your environment is telling you that. If you're turning up on social media, no one's engaging, or if you're, putting your letters and emails out to journos and you're not getting any responses, sing out for help. You're not cutting through, don't just sit there and think you'll get better on your own, right? And are you thriving? And this one is particularly for the people still in corporate who can't seem to get off that treadmill because of the politics, the patriarchy, the toxicity. Stop pretending it's not there. It's real. It's real. So, but we have the choice, do we stay in those environments or not? So I got out of that environment 7 years ago because I could not stand another moment working for the man. And that's really what it takes to jump ship and let go of that paycheck to then go into the uncertainty of how do you actually make money doing what you love. And what robs us of our power? I wonder, what do you relate to? Are any of these really speaking to you? Right? Do I have a superpower? Who would choose me? I'm too old to change careers, right? And these are the kind of beliefs I find in my client base that they are really, really strong. They're really, really deep rooted. And, you know, there's a lot of belief work we can do. And there's also the power of leaving that where it is, accepting that we got that monkey mind, we've got that saboteur. But what if we could see something different from ourselves? What if we could create our own mountaintop and a journey to get there? What if we really could get there? And this is why being in positive, action-oriented environments like this are so important. And what's the biggest thing that really stands in our way? Ultimately, all of those thought bubbles, what they do is build that self-doubt muscle. Who here feels they're completely clear of self-doubt? Anyone? Maybe Aldwyn? You know, but I don't think so, because this is part of the human condition. We need the dark to appreciate the light. We need those negative triggers to spur us into action. When things are feeling good and everything's hunky-dory, we don't chase change. We're humans. We want to feel good, right? So you make these negatives into the catalyst that drives you forward. And this is why working with goal-oriented people is definitely, they are the easy ones who see a goal and have a mission for themselves, but not everybody can see a goal. Not everybody, most people find it really hard to set a really meaningful, hairy, audacious goal. And again, that's where coaching and training and mentoring comes into it. But how do you know when you are overcoming that big boulder of self-doubt? Is when on a daily basis, all your work and all your life decisions are guided by your mission, not the man's mission, not the husband's mission, not the group's mission, not the team's mission, your personal mission. And that's why that work is so important to do, because you can't stand strong and stay focused on your North Star if you're not totally 100% all in with your mission. And again, that's not necessarily going to be clear up front. And you don't have to have the clarity around that. If you've got that catalyst for change rumbling, that's enough to get you on the journey. And each step is going to give you feedback that gives you information for the next step, right? So don't worry about not being clear, but know that if you want to have a mission and vision and live by your values, this is the path that you can take. So this is for you now. If self-doubt is holding us back from that mountaintop, whatever that is for each of us, and we want it, and we know that when we're working in our mission, vision, and values, we're going to get to that mountaintop. On a scale of 1 to 10 right now, where 1 is insecure and self-doubt, and 10 is self-confident and unstoppable, give yourself a number in this moment. And it doesn't matter what it is. It might be a 3, it might be a 7, but give yourself the self-rating principle gets you to think in a data-driven way about yourself, to evaluate what you're feeling. And then you ask yourself, what is the cost for you to stay at that level? You don't have to change, right? If you're not prepared to do anything about it, I give you permission to stay there, right? But I also invite you to consider, just for today, just for this moment, that what might be possible if you could move yourself even 1 point, and at a stretch 2 points up that scale from what you experience today. What would that mean for you? What would you be doing differently? What would you start doing? What would you stop doing? What would you be overcoming if you truly were on that path towards your mission, vision, and values, to your mountaintop? And this, what does it take to actually get to your mountaintop? One of the core skills of leadership power is mental toughness. And this is a psychology model of 4 main factors. So control, commitment, challenge, and confidence. And this is something we can measure. We can actually measure our level of attitude in each of these 8 pieces of the pie. And I don't have time to go into it now, but it is a fabulous coaching tool because it gives us a data-driven approach to what hinge are we going to work on to swing the biggest door. And not only that, but it also will often, you can self-rate yourself in terms of what you think in each of these things. But often when you do the diagnostic test, which is about 72 questions, it's got 100 published papers, and Peter Clough and Doug Strachakis, I'm actually on the global research and development board with them, and they are in their 70s. So they've been at this. They've been together since university, and they've been at this for 40 years. So it's a really deep and well-researched psychology model, and it's not everything, but it's a starting point, and it measures our ability to perform under stress. And it's a scale where in the lower points, you are, I guess before I go there, the main point of developing higher levels of mental toughness is this is where resilience and positivity come in. We get resilience, we get more natural positivity when we are developing our mental toughness skills intentionally. And that's a lot of what my coaching work is about. And that's just a definition of what they are. But this one gives you a picture of what the mental toughness assessment, one of the reports, is. So we see their overall mental toughness is a 2. That means they're highly sensitive. So someone who is highly sensitive, then look at that. He's got a confidence level of 1, if we come down to confidence. And so he doesn't, on the inside, he is struggling. He doesn't believe in himself at all. But look what's happening in his interpersonal confidence in terms of how he is appearing to other people. So he is going to look like he's going to drive this project and he's got it all covered. But really what's happening underneath is that they can't do it. And their internal narrative is negative. So when they're under pressure, it starts to paralyze their performance. So this gives us a internal picture of what is happening in terms of how we deal with goals and stress and pressure. And all life is pressure, but leadership is about pressure. If you don't want to handle and learn how to handle pressure better, you're not going to make it as a leader. And that's okay too, because not everybody is going to want to have a leading role, right? We need the support people. We need the team. So there's no right or wrong. But know that the sensitivity end is where the creativity lives, where the intuitive lives, where the healing lives, where all of these beautiful traits. So we want to support those, but we've got to develop a bit of a thick skin. And that's the piece that I tend to work with on. And I work with a lot of really sensitive people. So it's a great learning curve. But what I want you to do now is to take yourself on a journey of what would it mean to you if you could change your state and actually own your leadership power in more instances than you don't. Because remember, we're not always going to be 100% powerful. We don't just take a pill and suddenly we're Superman. It's just not like that, right? We're going to oscillate all the time. It's like Aldwyn's beautiful funnel about our energy vibrations. But we can learn the skills to up our energy back into the love and joy factor, right? And so Oprah Winfrey's goal is to create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe. And that's why environments like this are so important and so necessary, because we can't do this on our own. We really can't do this on our own. But just for the next couple of minutes, shall we take a journey to the end of the year? So I want you to close your eyes and let me guide you. Do I have that honor? So it's December 31st. So that is what, 9-10 months from now. And you have worked yourself, put priority on your highest, grandest vision possible for your life. And you are changing what you believe because you are becoming what you believe. So imagine yourself feeling proud and excited about what this new year will bring. You've made some big decisions. You've laid the groundwork. Oh, I just lost you there. And you are now moving much closer to your ideal career, your dream business, how you're working on your terms. You've decided what your goals and your vision and your mission and your values are, and you are working towards it. You may not be right on the mountaintop, but you've made huge progress towards that, because progress is where we see ourselves succeeding and exceeding our own expectations. It's not actually always about reaching the goal. It's about the journey to get there, but we must feel like we are moving in that direction. And so when you see yourself moving and achieving and succeeding, where is your level of confidence and feeling of empowerment now on that scale of 1 to 10? And put a number on it. Even if you're battling with the number, just put a number on it, because the numbers are what give you that visual sense of progress straight away. And my vision for each of you is that you are committing to step into your leadership power so you can create success on your terms and live each and every day in joy and power. And whatever difficulties, whatever setbacks happen during your journey, you know you can handle it. So come back in the room now. And would someone like to share where they went, or maybe how their number moved? David, what about you?
Probably a state of happiness.
A 7 in happiness?
And maybe, like sitting there in having a nice holiday in the Gold Coast or somewhere.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. So would anyone else like to share? Yes, Gabrielle.
Okay. Well, I wanted to buy a house, so I had my house, and it felt really suddenly I got this wave of empowerment, and I put myself on a number 10. So I feel really good about it. Thank you so much.
We have to see it before we can have it. And the belief work is constant, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is constant.
Yeah. It is.
Yes. So look, some of you might be interested to learn more about how I work with people, and this is just a summary of some of the programs I run. So the Unlock Your SuperPowers course really takes you into a deeper journey into defining your unique value proposition. So that is normally $9.97, and the offer today is $4.97. And then for those people who are ready to then turn their superpowers and their business and that treadmill they're on into a profitable business, this is where my Sales Accelerator formula program comes in, where we work together over 3 to 4 months and we take a journey up to your mountaintop. And then I love doing the mental toughness assessment work. So normally that's a 90-minute Zoom where you do the mental toughness assessment, and we use that to look at your leadership gaps and plan your development and what are those hinges that are going to open those bigger, heavier doors for you. So there's sort of the 3 ways I work with people. And as I said, the online course today is $497. Now that is US, so I think it's about $660 in Australian dollars. But what I'd love to offer is anybody who feels the calling to want to do this course, like normally the $497 is for the course, and then the mental toughness assessment is normally $750. So I want to offer that in like as a gift to have with this, because I know that will just put this course on steroids. So I would do the mental toughness assessment in the 90-minute session with you in addition to this. And I'm so excited for that because I know how much that has changed my self-image and my leadership power. So I love working with people with that. And so that's the sales accelerator formula. But this is what I want to leave you with. There are 3 types of people: the people who make it happen, the people who watch things happen, and the people who wonder what happened. So let's not be those people, right? And I love simplicity, and I love what Aldwyn said: simplify your message, right? So that sort of brings me to the conclusion today, and I'd love you just to take a moment to reflect and think, what is one thing I could do differently? So not an idea, not a concept, not I want to look at my notes, oh, I've got to reflect further, but what is one thing you will do differently as a result of when you leave here today? Because the biggest hint here is that our leadership power only turns up when we take action. It doesn't turn up in the books. And David, you can probably speak to this as well. It does. We need the learning and the education. Aldwyn, you talk about this too, but we need to take action. When we implement, transformation happens in implementation. And, you know, you are one of the best action taker role models that I know. And that's leadership power. That's what fuels our leadership power. If we don't speak up, like that's the whole thing. Start speaking, even if you don't know what you want to speak about. Get your YouTube channel up, get your interviews going, get your content flowing, because what you care about will become obvious when you speak it out. So that's where I'll leave it today.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, Lia. That was awesome. Give a round of applause for amazing. Lia Zalums, our amazing guest speaker here today. Wow, I absolutely love that. So many great models and so much content there that you packed in. It was fantastic. So for anyone who wants to watch the replay of that, if you missed anything, it's all up on the Mass Media Tribe Facebook group. And one thing I'm taking away from that is I'm going to be visualizing my future a lot more, because it's something that, you know, I've heard over the years. However, often I don't put that in practice, or I haven't been putting that in practice, actually visualizing, you know, like I'll write down what I want and things like that, but actually, you know, visualizing it, meditating it, feeling it, I think is very, very powerful. And what a great offer. Thank you, Lia. If you could pop that link for people to take advantage of that offer, plus the 90-minute session with you, that's very generous. If you could pop that into the Zoom chat and into the Facebook chat, that would be wonderful. We do have some giveaways coming up shortly. So before we do go to that, and you do need to be in the Zoom room to win a prize today, has anyone got any questions for Lia before we go to the giveaways? Any questions? Any questions? Or let us know, what are you taking on board from that? We've got a comment here from Suzanne. I love that. I was expecting something different from the name of the event. The psychology of taking leadership in hand to send your business soaring. Visualization works for me. I have a dream board. Can I meet her for coffee in April? Oh, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. Reach out. And I know, Suzanne, you wanted to know about the different leadership types early on too. So if you want to know more, then reach out to Lia. She is amazing. And I'm sure there's so much more she could have shared here today. However, you know, she shared as much as she could with us with the time available. So thank you so much for that, Lia. And oh, you're going to Sydney. Okay, wonderful. Oh, well, there you go. Suzanne's off to Sydney. So yes, I'm sure Lia would love to meet you. So we'll get those links in the chat there. And Lia and I actually did a course together in Melbourne quite a few years ago, and we're working on our IP models together, our intellectual property models, and we've done a whole lot of work with different mentors over the years. We've kind of crossed paths quite a few times, and it's been great to actually reconnect this year and actually do some work together. Lia's interviewed me for her show. I've interviewed her for my show. So great collaborations there. So if you want to hear more as well, I suggest check out the interview that I did with Lia on Media Queen TV on YouTube. We did a 1-hour interview also on this topic. So you'll find a whole lot more there as well. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Any questions? Oh, Eva, thank you so much, Eva, for that. Okay, great. And there's the link. So you just go to go.zaccess.com.au/unlock-your-superpowers for that link. So we'll pop that under the Facebook Live if it's not there already. If we pop that under there. Oh, you have? Okay, beautiful. Adrian Panozzo. Hello, Adrian, on Facebook. Mass Media Tribe saying hello. Good to see you there. What have you got out of that today, those watching online today or anywhere else other than in the Zoom room? What have you got out of this today? Let us know in the chat. What are you going to be doing differently? And amazing offer. Thank you so much there once again, Lia. Thank you for your time. If you do have any questions, pop them into the Facebook group chat under the Mass Media Tribe live stream, and we'll be monitoring that and can answer any of your questions there. All right, so let's do this giveaway now. I will share my screen and we'll go to our Wheel of Names. We use the Wheel of Names as an online. Now, Lia, you have a prize to give away. Lia says to Suzanne, yes, let's connect on Facebook. Excellent, that's what it's all about, these connections. Lia, what have you got to give away? If you just unmute yourself there.
Yes, so my prize is for anyone who takes action on taking up the course for Unlock Your Superpowers, which for $497, my goodness, that is really like $5,000 worth of coaching with me, right? If I were to do that live with you. So for that, you get the mental toughness assessment as well, because that gives us another level of data-driven information to really unlock what's holding you back and what's going to spur you forward. So that's the gift, is for anyone who makes the commitment.
Fantastic. So if you make a commitment, you are getting that 90 minutes with Lia, and that is amazing value. So thank you so much, Lia. And we do have the Wheel of Names 2 here. I am actually going to give away a ticket to the Free Publicity Secrets Masterclass and a ticket to the Social Media Masterclass as well. So 2 tickets I am giving away here. So I will share the screen. There we go. Can everyone see our Wheel of Names? I've got all your names in here. You can see that. And I am going to also share, let's see, share the audio. Let's just have a look for a second. I don't know if you're going to hear the audio. That does come up with a bit of a clapper. All right, so let's see who's going to win the first one. Either a Free Publicity Secrets Masterclass ticket worth $197 or Social Media Masterclass. You can choose. Oh, it's just snuck over there to Lia. Lia, congratulations. So you've won either a Free Publicity Secrets Masterclass or Social Media Masterclass. You can come to either of those. Just let me know which one you prefer. Valued at $197.
Oh, I think I'll do the Social Media Masterclass.
Social Media, fantastic.
Oh,
all right.
Thank you so much. That's fantastic. I'm so excited.
My pleasure. And our next winner, Suzanne. Congratulations, Suzanne. You have won either, well, you can choose either. You can choose either the Free Publicity Secrets Masterclass or the Social Media Masterclass, whichever you prefer, Suzanne. Which one of those would you like? Suzanne. And anyone else want to give away anything as well? Anyone else want to give anything away? Suzanne will probably pop in the chat because we had issues with her audio there before. Anyone else want to give anything away? Social media, excellent, Suzanne. Well, we'll see you both again then at this social media workshop, our next one in April. I think it was April 9 we had on that date. And I'm constantly upgrading those slides and keep adding new ones, because social media is changing just so rapidly that's constantly updated. So if you have attended a previous social media masterclass, then I do recommend to keep coming back, because it's constantly changing world in the world of social media. Does anyone else want to offer a prize here today? Anyone else want to offer anything? An online session or anything? Going once, going twice. No, okay, fantastic. All right, well, thank you so much for coming along today. Is there anything anyone wants to share before we go? What you got out of today? What are some of the key learnings you got today? This is always good to cement in, what you got out of today. I'd love to hear from you, hear what you actually got from today. What's something you're going to take action on? Who would like to share? You can unmute yourself if you like. Eva says, thank you. Thank you so much, Eva. Thank you. Thank you. Who'd like to share what you got out of today? Or some action?
Something I forgot, Aldwyn, that is a freebie that I'll put the link in. But this is actually a mental toughness self-coaching tool. I completely forgot to talk about this. But what it gives you is that, is like a verbal checklist of just what funk are you in. Right, it's like we can't always verbalize things, but we might wake up and maybe I feel like I'm struggling, and it's I think, what's speaking to me, and it's like, I'm just not sure I'm able to deal with things, right? So I'm struggling in this confidence category of mental toughness around my own abilities. So what does good look like, or what does thriving look like? Thriving looks like my self-belief is restored. I'm using every ounce of my ability. So you've got a definite clarity around what you're striving for, and that sets your brain into finding solutions of ways to move yourself there, right? So this, if people are interested in this, I'll put the link in this, because it's one of the things I come back to that gives me, before I reach out to, for coaching or to talk to someone, what can I do for myself to move myself out of the funk? So if I can I do that, Aldwyn? I'll put the link in the.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you, Leah. Thank you for sharing that. So much value. So good. Gabrielle's saying, I don't want to be the center of attention. You're saying normally, Gabrielle, you tend to step back from being the center of attention. Is that what you're saying? You do, yes. Well, you're not alone with that one, I must say. We're taught here, particularly in Australia, we're taught to rise to the middle here in Australia. Rise to the middle, right? And it's about time we smash through that. But once I'm on,
then you can't get me off the radio or anywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's just getting there.
Yeah, the hardest thing is just starting often, right? Just 50% of anything is just starting. So it's so interesting, isn't it? And often the thing is that stops us is we're too much in our heads often, rather than coming from the heart space. And the nerves happen often when we're in our heads, we're over analyzing things rather than coming from the heart and really sharing our truth from the heart. So that's a big tip I can give you on that one. If you do have any nerves at all, getting yourself out there, then come from the heart as much as possible.
Actually, I have been on stage several times, and the tip I've got from somebody, see everybody in their nappies, and then you'll be fine. And I did, and it really works for me anyway, because they look quite funny in their nappies.
Yes, so funny. And we were all in nappies once upon a time. We are just big babies, right? Funny, Gabrielle. That's great. Love it. Okay, we've got some links in there. Please pop any of those links into the Facebook chat so we don't lose it out of Zoom. If you would like to save the chat from Zoom, please do that. You can save it down the bottom there where you go to type a message. Just go to the 3 dots on the right, and you can save chat in there as well. Suzanne says tall poppy syndrome is alive and really healthy in Australia. Yes, it certainly is. It definitely is. However, there's a lot of people breaking through that now, which is awesome. And I know we've got some of them right here on this Zoom right now, people watching this. Otherwise, you wouldn't be attracted to this if you weren't like that. All right, it's about quality. What else have we got here? Okay, so fantastic. Leah's put, grab your free self-coaching tool to restore confidence. Okay, she's put that in there. So zaccess.com.au/confidence-masterclass. Brilliant. Thank you, Leah. Wonderful. The one thing Suzanne says I could do differently. Love it for the clarity. Excellent. Fantastic. You just never know what you're going to pick up at these things. Excellent. All right, we are all rising, Leah says. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, well, let's go, before we wrap up, let's go around the room very quickly. Best thing. Best thing. What is the best thing from today? One thing, best thing. Who wants to share first? What's your best thing? Best thing, just unmute yourself.
I will do.
Yes, Gabrielle.
Well, the best thing would be that I really have to step out, you know, because once you get me on stage, I'll love it, you know, and then you can't get me off. So it's really that first step, you know, kick me in the butt and I'll be there.
Yes, so you're ready
so
now,
much.
Gabrielle. Thank you. Excellent.
Yeah.
And do you feel more ready? Yeah, do you feel more ready? Because that's the thing. We got to bottle the feeling. And what's an action you can take immediately after this? Immediately after this, what's one thing you can do? No, seriously, because this feeling will disappear as soon as you go and have lunch. It goes. Feelings go. Don't they?
No, I really would love to start. The only problem I have up here, my internet is really bad. So that's my problem. Otherwise, I would have given a freebie, but it's really hard because there's really, you know, I'm surprised that the Zoom went so smoothly, but otherwise it stops and starts and stops and starts. So I have to find myself a place where I can, you know, kind of do it properly.
Right.
Otherwise, it's not professional.
Okay. So if your internet was great, right? What's one action you could take? If your internet was fantastic,
I would do immediately video. I have already kind of a video on happiness because so many people are unhappy. So I definitely would do a little video on happy, what you can do, and how you also on a chemical level can make yourself happier. Because many people chemically, they have not enough vitamin B, they have not enough magnesium, they not have enough vitamin D. So, I mean, there's so many easy things you can do just to make yourself happy.
Yeah, love it. And I would love to watch that. I would love to watch that. You're just muted there, Leah.
Yeah, you look fantastic on camera, Gabrielle.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Hurry up.
Yes.
Hurry up.
Yeah, let us know when you do it and pop the link into the chat in the comments under our video. I'd love to see that happy video when you're ready to get that out. Awesome. Fantastic, Gabrielle. Well done. Well done.
All right.
Love it, love it. And Suzanne's put, best thing was that I'm not the only person wanting to emerge to greatness like a butterfly. Yes. The one thing I would do straight away is to get a story out there and get people following me. Absolutely. And don't get too hung up on the numbers of people following you too, because it is about quality rather than quantity. And, you know, you could impact one person with your story that can make the world a difference. And you could have one person be attracted to your story that could also help you go exponential with your business too. You just never know who is out there. And the main thing is to keep putting yourself out there, keep sharing. And that's wonderful. Well done, Suzanne. Excellent. Eva, would you like to share there? Are you with us there, Eva, in the background? Because we can't see your face. There we are. Yes, Eva.
I've got absolutely nothing to. It needs to sink in.
You're thinking, you're taking it all in. Okay. Is there something you got that stood out for you, Eva, or you're processing it all? Just thinking by the look of it. Okay. All right, well, we did cover a lot today, so that is quite natural for you to spend some time processing. What about you, Leah? What's the best thing you got out of today? What's some action you're going to take?
Look, the best thing for me is connecting with other people on this journey and, you know, and the gift of having an audience. And I just want to thank you, Aldwyn, for providing the platform and being the reason we're all here together. And it just gives me goosebumps because, you know, this is what keeps the fires burning. This is what keeps us on the path. This is what keeps us trying one more time to set a goal, right? Because it's awful when we keep missing them. So we give up. And so it's environments like this that keep us revisiting our goal. And one of the things that I'm going to do is revisit my goals and actually be more diligent in measuring my progress towards those goals, because I'm so inspired when I measure. And,
Yes.
you know, so talking about all this and delivering this, it puts me back in the pocket, puts me back on the bus, driving my bus.
Yay.
We've got to drive our bus, people.
Love it, Lia. Love it. And, you know, I can't believe you're 60. You are amazing. You are such a powerhouse. And, you know, 70 is the new 40 now. So you are a great example of someone who is just absolutely loving life at 60, and you look fabulous, and you have so much beautiful energy that I just love seeing you out there and love sharing the space with you. So thank you so much. It's been such an honor having you as our guest today. And thank you to everyone who's joined us on the live Zoom. Thank you for those watching the recording here. Please let us know in the chat what is the best thing that you got out of this. If you're processing the information, let us know what is the best thing you got and what's some action you're going to take today. And if you can't think of either of those things, then just think about something you're grateful for. And that could be the fact that you are alive right now and that you're watching this, that you have eyes, that you have a heart, that you have a fully functioning body is something we can all be very grateful for, right? So I'm incredibly grateful for that. Please do remember to save the chat now. We've got more in the chat. So remember to save the chat. And Lia's going to revisit her goals and measure progress in baby steps. Yes, love it. And best thing for me too was hearing Lia. I loved Lia's presentation. So many great graphics there. Absolutely love that. So I'll be going back over that and studying that more carefully. And also I love that measuring progress and really visualizing what we want for the future. I think is so important, you know, whether it's a vision board or, you know, however that looks for you. I think meditation is really important as well to tap into the abundance that is within and all around us. And sometimes we forget about that, right? We think we're all alone on this journey, and actually there's lots of support for us. And I do encourage you to look at who is in your life. Which table are you sitting at in your life? You know, who's at your table, right? Do you have people that are lifting your energy, or are they bringing your energy down? And it's a choice in any moment how much time you choose to put into those who are dropping your energy consistently, right? Because some people just love drama. Some people just love to whinge and whinge and whinge, right? And then you got others that just, you know, lift the energy whenever they come into a room, and, you know, they're the kind of people I want to hang out with, and we've certainly seen that today. So thank you so much. And now if there's nothing further, we will wrap up today. And as Gandhi says, be the change you wish to see in the world. And as I say, shine bright and light up all those around you. Please do stay connected. Check out our links in the chat. Thank you to everyone who's put the links in there. You can connect with me at linktree/Aldwyn, and you'll see all the links there. I look forward to seeing some of your Global Good News Challenges next week as well. Can't wait to see that. And see you at another event shortly, at any of the masterclasses, etc. Thanks again. Thanks for joining us. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much. Bye for now.